Knight Rider just moments ago was eliminated from the field of 32. Needs to find about 0.7 of a second off of his previous best lap to make it into the next round of the championship, to have a chance to go for the DeepRacer Cup and the grand prize of $25,000 US. Knight Rider on the track right now, folks, and starting to pick up the pace. Let's check the lap time. It's an 11.041. That's close. Needs to find just about 1 second.
Oh.
Needs to get this car stopped. This lap won't count because there was an off track a moment ago. So I'm not sure how this is going to be handled. We will see. This is going to complicate things here. That last lap was a 10.6, I think. If it counts, it doesn't matter. It's still not quite good enough. How about that lap, though? That was at 10.3. It's getting closer, and he still has 55 seconds left. Again, the time to beat, 10.027, and the car goes off. Great hustle by the track boss. Saving as much time as possible this lap, though. A write-off with the off tracks there. Oh, that's so costly. 30 seconds to try and find 0.3 of a second. So close and yet so far. Let's cheer him on. Trying to get back in the field of 32, and this is going to be costly. It's just taking time. Oh, there's only 13 seconds left, so he's got to get back around. If there's time on the clock, he'll be allowed one more flyer. I think he's got a chance to do it. It all comes down to this for Knight Rider. Smoothly through the first section, smoothly through the S's. Just 2 corners to go. He needs to beat a 10.027 second lap, and it's a 10.6. What an effort, though. Let's hear it for him. Well done. That is the drama of Wildcard night at DeepRacer, folks.
Now, for those of you who love to learn a little bit more about the hardware, there's a lot going on underneath the hood of that DeepRacer vehicle. You've got a 4-wheel drive chassis with a monster truck design. When you look at it, you kind of think it's driving backwards because you got the camera in the front, and it's using that camera to make decisions on what it to do next. Well, you've got 4 gigs of RAM, 32 gigs of expandable storage, a Wi-Fi capability. My point is, that little machine acts as a mini computer in that of itself. If you want to dive even deeper, I really encourage you to go over to the under the hood section with our colleague and pit crew member, Don. Happy to open it up and show you what's going on under the hood. I've seen some cool use cases with these things outside of racing. Folks have used it to, well, capture rats at one point.
Yeah,
right?
That's my favorite one.
I don't know if I would use my model to do that, but hey, I also wouldn't want to touch a rat, so maybe I would build something else to do it for me.
Yeah, they trained it to recognize a rat and chase it around an apartment. Pretty amazing. What do they call it? Like deep cat or something like that?
I mean,
can't
it's better
remember.
than me. I probably would have had to move.
Yeah.
So I need something to help me out.
Current developer, by the way, is 8. 8 is the alias that was selected. Again, chasing Duckworth's time of 10.027 seconds. Duckworth's been in this spot before. It was so close, racing virtually, trying to qualify to be one of the 26 that had pre-qualified for the round of 32. Just narrowly missed out to Debro, and now finds himself sweating it out on the bubble again. But as some have pointed out, we have seen wildcard entries make deep runs in the tournament over the years, and certainly one of the examples was last year's champion who qualified via the Enterprise Wildcard entry and went on to win the whole thing. Fiat Lux. I mean, it was a first for so many different reasons. First ever champion to race by proxy, first champion to come out of the wild cards. It was a remarkable championship finale last year. I think we're in store for some more fun here this year as well. The time has run out for 8, and it looks like that's the end. They'll be able to come around and complete the lap, but won't have a lap time good enough to challenge Duckworth, so Duckworth, you're safe for now. No, it is Kashi up next. Kashi was our first racer of the evening, you might remember.
Oh, that's right.
And spent a good deal of time in the top 6, has dropped down the order a little bit, but we'll have one more shot to try and make it into the round of 32. Kashi, a regional qualifier a year ago, won the Asia Pacific regional qualifier in 2022, actually, and the Tokyo Summit. And did have a sub 10-second lap on roughly this track back in 2022. Now, it was a wider track, but the layout was the same. So we know he's got some experience racing on this track. Has done a sub 10-second lap on something similar before.
So I think what we want to...
And now a lot of pressure here to try and get the job done. Time running out, just over 30 minutes left, and then we'll know the 32 finalists for this final edition of the AWS DeepRacer League.
Hey, we've got a little interview cam. Do you want to go down to the wall with Lars, Matt, and Daniel, and we'll just ask them, like, walking on the bubble right now? What are you
Yeah.
doing?
We could do that. Let's see. So,
I know they love chat.
we go down the line and
Yeah, they're waiting to go right now, and they're all kind of Yeah, yeah. Yeah. Do it all. I love it, you know?
Ooh.
Hey, folks.
have a quick chat
Do
with
mind
you
if
guys.
we interview you for the end of the show? So you're all on the bubble right now. You got one in front of you. Is that,
He does, you
is
don't.
that
I
safe?
am on the north.
Ooh, having a little trouble making it through this particular technical part of the track.
Once I do, you're out, or you want to do it too?
Ah,
Okay.
very good. Back on it.
You're on.
Well, this is something new for us here. We've got mobile camera. We've got the Joe Fontaine behind the camera. Thank you, Joe. We've got a number of our racers that are sitting there kind of in a perilous spot, no more than you. Duckworth, you roll your eyes. You've been here before.
Yeah, this is sweating it out. My Fitbit goes all mad, and I'm very excited. And let's just hope that it passes through.
So right now you're 6th. Top 6 move on. You say your Fitbit goes crazy when you're in a position like this. Can you give us an idea of what your heart rate is in a moment like this?
125, 130 is what it was before. So.
Yeah, this is truly a pressure-packed situation. The fact, though, that you have been in this position before, I mean, does it help you? You've experienced the highs and lows of this game.
I would say no. I don't think it helps. I really think this is the same challenge every time. You stand there, you sweat out. Last year with the finals, we were cheering for Fiat Lux, Doug and I, and the same thing, like 130. It was really, really, really painful. And then, of course, the end, the joy you get, right?
So you're at a 10-second lap right now. We'll turn Matt loose. He's about to go again. Do you think you've got... What do you think you have, I guess? How much faster can you go?
I can go 9.59, I think. You just try out another model now. Let's see what that does. It's, of course, always a bit like, does the model fit the car? I think Ross said the same, right? Model, car, speed. If you find that sweet spot, it can go really, really, really fast. But yeah, if you're a bit off, if the calibration doesn't fit your, it's not even right or wrong calibration, it's just, does that calibration fit my car? And if it doesn't, then it's all out. If it fits, you're just spot on. What I did see is, what I managed to get is the car went straight. So that's something I've been working on all winter, like get it to go straight on the straight. But he was a bit having issues in the corner. So, you always need to be careful on that.
All right, we wish you the best of luck. Good luck to you, folks. That is Duckworth, currently in 6th. He's on the bubble. He's going to try and go a little bit faster to give himself some breathing room. Jarek, will bring you in here if we could as well. Now, you've got a little bit more space, right? Because you're sitting in 5th at the moment? So 5th at the moment. Still, 30 minutes to go. How comfortable do you feel, even if you do have a little bit of a buffer?
Well, it's just like the summit races. You're never comfortable. Like even DC summits were over 2 days, so it was stressful because you have to maintain and defend your position all day. So you're standing in queue all day and trying to do it. So we're trying to do it here, but thankfully the time's shorter, but it's still stressful.
All right, well, good luck to you as well. We've got Matt on track, and he's doing pretty well, so we'll go back up to Nicole. All right, so let's check and see how Matt is doing. And I'd say he's doing pretty well. Is that last lap real? I'm told it's real, and it is spectacular. And he's backed it up. 2 7-second laps in a row. A 7.7 followed up by a 7.8. That's a new track record by nearly a second. Outstanding from Matt Camp. Wow. So from 3rd to the top of the leaderboard, and a message has been sent to the rest of the league. Now, I think it was Ross Kopp who was telling me that he thought maybe there was a chance to get down in the 7-second bracket, and we've seen it. And that was remarkably consistent as well, to do back-to-back laps at subs 8 seconds, and really 3 in a row within a tenth of one another. That's exactly what you're going to be looking for a little bit later on in the competition. All right. So this is our bubble developer here. This is Duckworth in the final transfer spot here for the moment. But not feeling super comfortable. 2 minutes, his final attempt to try and find a little bit more breathing room. What can he do? A couple of resets here early on, though. Interesting in that conversation with him that the focus had been on trying to keep that car as straight and balanced as possible on the straight line. And you can see that car is very, very stable. Just needs a little bit more precision right through that section. Just barely kept the rubber on the road. That's good enough to keep the lap valid. Still has a minute left. As of yet, has not turned a lap that would improve his time. That one was trending the right way until he found the barrier. All right.
Oh, that's
Inside
good.
the final minute, sorry.
Oh. No, that's okay. I said that's good.
Trouble spot consistently in that final horseshoe bend. Maybe he can work on that speed multiplier a little bit to get the car a bit more stable through that section. That's the one control that the developer has over his car in real time. And it's not a throttle pedal, folks. It's a speed multiplier. So it's just affecting the speed quotient that's already coded into his machine learning algorithm, basically adjusting the window of that speed and what's available for the model to choose from at any given time. Down to 10 seconds now on the run. Has not improved on the time that currently has him sitting 6th. One last attempt here. Can Duckworth do it? Can he get himself a little bit more breathing room? No. And so again, he finds his fate out of his hands. He's going to have to sit, wait, and watch with the rest of us here in the final 22 minutes of the final wildcard race of the AWS DeepRacer League.
Joe's like open back there, and he's like, hey, we should go try this right now. And I was like, oh, I haven't freaking tested it. And he's like, yeah, we're not gonna do it. So we did it, but I forgot that this GoPro specifically, I did it on top of the track once. This one said to turn off after 5 minutes. So by the time I handed it to him, you walked down there, and then we lost the feed mid-talk, and I'm like, oh no! I cut to overhead, the audio's still there. He lit it back up, and then I cut it back to you, and I was like,
Yeah, we got it.
I need to configure the Stream Deck and have like a mobile app where I can actually hit, kill, switch inputs while we're out doing this stuff.
Great idea. Because it's manual right
Had
now,
to
right?
run up here to switch it back.
Yeah.
Anyways, all right. If he wants to do it again, we're good.
I don't know that I want to in the final 20 minutes of this, but for tomorrow, definitely.
Yeah.
I agree with you.
We'll be good for tomorrow.
All right, folks, we have 20 minutes left for our wild card race. If you want to try your hand at entry into the finale for the final AWS DeepRacer League Championship, now is your time. We've got 20 minutes left. You might as well give it a shot. All you're doing is submitting a model, and you'll join our pit crew to load that model onto the AWS DeepRacer vehicle, and you'll take the racer position to start and start and manage the speed multiplier for your model as it drives around the track. Again, you can win potentially up to $25,000 for first place, or still a good sizable chunk of $1,500 for 6. Woo.
It's Jarek back on track now. Currently the, 5th fastest as they stand. Would advance. This would be a second straight year using the wildcard race to make it into the competition at large if Jarek were able to get it done. Had a really smooth start, then started experimenting a little bit and lost some of the consistency. A 10.670 second lap that last time by. It's not better than what we've seen. He's already run a 9.9 earlier in the competition. Back-to-back 10.6s though. That's fantastic consistency. How about this lap? There's a 9, a 9.7, and that is an improvement. It doesn't change the position, but it does give him a bit more cushion if someone's going to try and bump their way into the field, or to someone's, as I suppose it would have to be. Time runs out. And so for Jarek, it is a nice improvement to a 9.7 second lap from a 9.9. And maybe that little bit of extra cushion is what it's going to take inside the final 20 minutes. Yeah, go for it. You can do it now.
All right, as we close out for today, I want to let you know there are many other ways to take advantage or experience the DeepRacer experience this week. We have several workshops curated to help you either A, begin your Gen AI learning journey, or should you already be on track for that, pun intended, you then also have the option for our 400 level courses. I'll let you know a couple of the names of things that you might be interested in. For you, the first time Gen AI expert learning the ways through machine learning, if you will, there's a demystifying LLMs or large language models with your AWS DeepRacer know-how. So if you've only been focusing on DeepRacer and you want to learn how to transfer those skills into Gen AI, check out DPR 101. An AWS workshop available to be found through the Events app, and it'll be a great introduction for transferring all your skills from DeepRacer into the Gen AI domain. Now, if you already got some of that knowledge and you want to go a level deeper, I'll say 200 level, well, there's a course specific around finding the right approach for bridging traditional machine learning with Gen AI. That's a 200 level course if you're interested, and you can find it in your app under DPR 201. Again, that's DPR 201. In fact, if you go ahead and search for DPR, all of the courses related to DeepRacer are there. And just to share a little bit more, because we have 2 other workshops for you. We've got that 301 or 300 level course, DPR 301 to be exact, the multimodal semantic search for Gen AI applications. And we round it out for those who are interested with a 400 level course for unleashing multimodal Gen AI with AWS DeepRacer chatbots. Now, as I mentioned, we've got courses for every level. Take a look at what's appropriate to you. Each of the workshops that I mentioned will provide you with hands-on experience leveraging different AWS services like SageMaker, Bedrock. Think of our AWS Gen AI portfolio or machine learning portfolio. A lot of those services will be used at no cost to you through the AWS console. So take a look. We'd love to see you through some of them. And if you want to take a look at some demos, go on over to the AWS Gen AI Innovation Center over to my left. They've got plenty of demonstrations of how AWS experts have leveraged Bedrock, SageMaker, and other machine learning services within the AWS portfolio to build technology or solutions for a wide range of different use cases.
Yeah, so many ways to learn about this, get involved with this, even though the DeepRacer League is winding down. Still a lot of utility for it, and again, the wonderful community that will persist even after reinvent here. Just saw Cyber Drifters on track one last time. Unfortunately, couldn't find the pace to improve. And that... There was something about him, about Audi going twice. I don't know, I didn't understand that. And I see another person in line for a 3rd time, and I read the rules and it said you can't.
I will say this, one thing I've learned about Amazon, if you spend enough money on our services,
Yeah.
rules will change.
Yeah.
Audi, rules might change.
Yeah. Simon Hill, who wowed us with our first sub-9 second lap earlier this evening, still sits a very solid 3rd, is on the track now for another go. Looking to pad the advantage and maybe more importantly, get some extra experience ahead of the round of 32, which starts tomorrow. First lap was not a clean one, nor is this second lap, so we'll start to turn our attention to the times if he can cleanly make it through this first sequence this time. And yes, he can. Here comes Simon. Back onto the main straightaway. Checks in with a time of 9.053 seconds, so that backs up the 8.9 we saw earlier in the evening. How about an 8.7 that time? 8.764 does not improve the position on the leaderboard, but he does go faster. Still time as well, over a minute to go. Oh, that was another good one at 8.9 or 8.89. So just fractionally off of his new best. 8.695 that time by. Moves him up to second. Simon Hill on debut. Another 8-second lap at 8.835. 3 in a row. And again, that's important because once we get out of the wild cards, we're going to be averaging 3 consecutive laps. That's what's going to be the difference maker. And so this kind of consistency, that is a really good sign. Here he comes again. 9.2 that time by. This will be, it looks like the final lap, and it's a good one to the line. 8.997, that's not his best, but the best still does jump up to P2 on the leaderboard. 8.695 seconds, well done. Hello. Oh, I think it was an accident. Giovanni is back, winner of her all-female internal JPMC League. And look at this, off to a strong start, 10.194. This is already the 3rd fastest developer here on her reinvent debut, no less. Part of that JP Morgan Chase team, getting some crucial experience here racing under the big lights, and this model is looking fast, it's looking smooth. It's a 9.708 second lap. She was faster in her first run. Picking up the pace. It's an even faster lap that time, 9.1. Her previous best is an 8.7, and finally we have a reset. Hadn't had one of those in a while. Now we put them up back to back here. Still time, though, 40 seconds on the clock. Already comfortably in the field. That's the good news. This is now about getting some extra practice. That may be affecting the seeding as well. 20 seconds to go. Flirting with her best laps of the contest so far. That was a 9.5, so about a second off of her previous best. Car goes wide. And not much time left either. This is a race against the clock to get this next lap in time, and she does. This will count. It stays inside the boundaries.
Nice.
This looks good. 9.3. It's not her best, but again, still safely in the field. And I think at this stage, it's safe to say we will see Giovanni in her first ever DeepRacer League championship.
Giovanni, if I could get your attention, did you make any changes to your model at all, or is it the same one?
Same model.
Same one?
All right.
All right.
Well, coming up next, it'll be Joachim. Welcome back. We weren't sure if time would allow for one of the veterans of the league to make another attempt, but he will. Feeling confident? We'll see. And Duckworth doesn't have too much longer that he's got to sweat it out. He's having a word with a couple of his teammates, including, I believe, last year's champion is down there in that scrum. Trying their best to distract their teammate Duckworth so he doesn't have to think too much about what's at stake. He and Joachim, they've been battling one another over the years in this DeepRacer league, so they'll know each other well. They'll be friends too, so it's a tough situation, right? Trying to bump your friend out. But there's big money at stake, so what choice do you have? Inside the final 10 minutes of the wild card, and I think we might be getting down to the very end of those eligible to make another attempt here. This could be the last to make a run just before that proverbial gun goes off. Second attempt, final attempt of the wild card. This to stay in contention. It is Joachim, 2023 Paris Summit champion. On the track again, let's cheer him on. His 2 minutes, his final 2 minutes underway, but that model still just lacking the consistency that we've seen out of the elite so far here this evening. Joachim made his debut all the way back in 2019 at the Amsterdam Summit. I was there. It's one of the first of the major AWS summits to feature DeepRacer back in that inaugural full season of competition. The first DeepRacer Cup was handed out in 2018, but that was all just a competition here at reinvent. 2019, we added virtual as well as in-person competition at the various summits, culminating in a championship right here in Vegas.
And you've been here for all of them, have you not?
Everyone.
Jeez.
I guess there was a component of one that maybe in 21 that was in person that I wasn't here for. We covered remotely. But other than that, yeah, so Joe reminded me that we had Blaine on site as the MC for that, and happy to report Blaine's going to be with me for the championship. Nicole's got some other responsibilities, so I hope he brings his lab coat.
Say no more. Ask and thee shall receive.
Time running out here for Joachim, though. This is the final lap, and it looks like it's not meant to be this time. But one of the stalwart competitors of the DeepRacer League. Great to have you back. Hope to see you sticking around the racetrack throughout the course of the week. And with that, you're very welcome. Thank you. Congratulations on all the success. And I think Duckworth can finally breathe again. You're through, man. Well done. So, yeah, I think that's right. Okay. And so, we're at the end, Nicole, of the wild card. We know our 32 racers that will go for the big prize. And now the real pressure starts to mount. And we're going to see the best of the best 32 in the world over the next couple of days.
That's right. And before you leave, I do want to remind you, if you want to find out about any workshops related to DeepRacer, take a look at your AWS Events app and search for DPR. We've got 400 levels, 1 through 400 levels of content for you to immerse yourself in to either learn more about generative AI and how you can leverage the skills that you've seen here to do more important projects with GenAI as your service. You also have the ability to learn a little bit more about how you can leverage services like Amazon Bedrock and SageMaker in conjunction with the information you've learned with DeepRacer to help you on your GenAI journey. So again, DPR are the 3 letters you need to remember if you're searching for more DeepRacer content or at least workshops throughout the week. It was great to have you here today, and we look forward to seeing you again tomorrow for the beginning of the final finale for AWS DeepRacer.
It all starts at 10 o'clock tomorrow morning with practice. 12 o'clock, the racing begins in the round of 32. Hope to see you there.
Fun fact, I don't know if you know, the QR codes on the sign over there too takes you straight to all the DeepRacer workshops.
I had no idea.
That is great.
A lot easier than what I said. Thank you for that. Let me turn this off.